What is up, everybody? This is Recap or Rewind. I'm J-Lag.
And I'm MB.
And we are recapping and reviewing American Horror Story Season 8, Episode 8. And it's called...
Sojourn.
Sojourn.
Don't forget, guys, stick around for the ending because we are going to go through our recap roundups, our best moments, our best lines. So be sure to stick around for that.
And for anyone who's just joining us for the very first time, thanks for coming through. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And for anyone who is joining us again, thanks so much for coming back. Let's get into the episode.
Yeah. So really quickly, the episode's title is called Sojourn. And I was like,
right.
I don't know what that means. So I Googled it.
What that mean, though?
And it basically means like a temporary stay. Like it doesn't mean like, it doesn't say where, but it just means like a temporary stay in, I guess, wherever you are. So it kind of makes sense with like seeing Mrs. Mead's story now and stuff. Like,
sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that's sort of where we are at this point.
Okay. So, yeah, what did you think of the episode overall before we get into the entire thing?
Honestly, the first like 40 minutes, I was so bored. That whole satanic storyline was really boring.
Yeah.
And then the last like 10, I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. So
yeah, I would definitely have to agree with you. I think that there was definitely moments where I was like, why are we watching this? I kind of knew from the beginning like where it was gonna go, and I was like, okay. Like as soon as we found out, they're like, anyway, we'll talk about it later. But
and here's the thing, right? We both did want to see Miss Mead's storyline and like how she becomes a robot and all of that stuff. So
that's true.
We do get that. We definitely do get that. I don't know if I would have wanted it to be at episode 8, like this deep into the season.
Yeah.
But either way, like whatever, fine.
At the same time, I'm like, okay, like when else would they have fit this in?
Yeah.
But because it happens right after his whole breakdown. So
right. And
we'll
like
get
she
right
has
off
to die first, right? So
exactly. So, starting right from the top, from that moment, Michael finds the bodies. It kind of just cuts right in. It's like he magically appears at the most inconvenient time. Like they literally burnt 5 seconds before that. And so he realizes that it's the Warlocks and Miss Mead. And he's like, no, like he's like totally shook. And yeah, he's just like really upset about it. And then Cordelia comes through and she's like, it's over. Everybody's gone. All the people that you wanted on your side are all dead. And he like when he realizes Miss Mead, he's like, "Don't worry, I can bring her back." And she's like, "No, you can't actually, because I put some like next level like magic spell on her." And he's like, "No." And she keeps it reiterating like, "You're alone, but we can help you. Like you don't have to go to your dad, aka like the freaking devil,
yeah.
And you can come with us and like come through." And he takes her hand, and there's like a moment where he like looks at her in the eye, and like you think that he's gonna maybe like like realize.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. He's like, somehow I'm gonna bring her back, and then I'm gonna kill all you bitches.
Yeah.
Well, like that's paraphrased, obviously.
Yeah.
Did you think at any moment in time though, like what she did would have like she didn't even approach it the right way? You know what I mean?
Why? What do you mean?
I just feel like she was like, I killed everybody that you loved, so now come with me.
Oh,
like
totally.
There was no real reason for him to even feel like anything but anger and revenge in that moment.
Like,
so,
how
like,
did you think that was gonna work, girl?
Yeah, so like she attacks him and now he's gonna freaking kill everybody.
Yeah.
So anyway, I feel like next episode is gonna be crazy, that being said.
Yeah.
The one thing that I will say in this moment is like he never even tries to bring her back at all. Like he doesn't even attempt it, which is like very like I know that he's like sad and broken and stuff, but like you'd think that like he's so hopeless at this point, like there's nobody left in his life, that he would at least try once to bring her back.
He doesn't even try it, but I guess like his confidence is completely shot as well, and like there's no support behind him. Like all the Warlocks are gone too, so like no one's really like egging him on to even try that. He's just like,
that's true.
He's just being a Debbie Downer. He's just like sulking, like, yeah, no, I can't do this.
Yeah. so yeah, that's what happens. He ends up walking into the wilderness and he draws a satanic pentacle, and while he's doing it, he's talking to, I guess, like Satan, and he's like, what do you want me to do? You have to show me what you want me to do. Like tell me what you want, or like just let me die in the woods. Yeah. And then literally it's like 4 days later, so he's literally sitting there for 4 full days, like no eating, nothing, and he's going crazy. So he starts to see like a lot of weird imagery, and I feel like we have to remember these things because I definitely like don't know like where they're gonna come into the rest of the story, but there definitely has to be some sort of connection, don't you think?
Yeah, like, so basically what do we see in the forest? He starts glitching out. The first thing I think we see is like the two little kids, and the kid's like, do you want a grape Fanta? And I was like, I do, yeah. And then the other girl's like, oh, like, I have apples. And he's like, no. He's like, I know you're not real. And they're saying to him, like, come to the light. So I guess he was like on the verge of like almost death, right?
But who are those people to him?
I don't know, like, and I think they're just
and why
like,
do they want to give him
I don't know. And then like we hear like Miss Mead like with a weird like Arabic accent, kind of like she has like some weird accent, and she's like lying on a bed. I was like, I don't know what all of this together means. And then we see a goat, which is very symbolic of like, I guess like witchcraft, maybe, and like the devil, or sacrifice.
But the one thing that he does see that I really want to talk about is he sees an freaking angel, like a literal angel.
Yeah.
And like, what do you think that means? Does it mean that like he's seeing his own death, and like that, because like the angel was like, God loves you.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. Like I don't really understand. Maybe our listeners can kind of comment on this. But I don't understand all of that sequence. But I think what kind of like intrigued me was the fact that like he's begging for an answer. He's begging for a sign, and there's no sign from the devil. There's no sign at all from his dad when he needs him the most, basically. So I don't know what the symbolism of that is either. Like, why is it when he's like legit calling him and he's down and out, like there's no sign?
I mean, I guess in every like sad story, everybody gets abandoned at some point in time.
I guess, yeah.
If we talk about like the Christian story too, like, why have you abandoned me? He like is crucified. So
yeah,
I don't know. I guess it happens. But so this is kind of his moment of like that happening to him. He does have like a really funny like urban legends like Jennifer Love Hewitt moment where he's like, what do you want from me?
I die. He's like, what do you want from me? Huh? What do you want from me? That's from Scary Movie.
Literally. So anyway, so he ends up like wandering back into the city after he's like in the woods. I don't know where they are. I'm assuming they're in LA still.
Yeah,
right?
They're in California. It looked like a California like forest.
Right. So they're in like California, and then he ends up back in the city, and he walks down an alleyway, and he ends up in a satanic church.
Yeah.
That's like down this like dark alleyway. My assumption is like he knew of this church beforehand. Is that how he ended up there?
Yeah,
or did he just follow some dark energy? Like, I don't know.
No, I think at first it looked like he didn't know where he was going, but then I think he knew. I'm sure Miss Me took him there like from time.
So anyway, he's like chilling in the back, and then we meet this chick, and I don't remember her name as an actress, but she's like a well-known actress. And she's like the dark priest, and she's like basically telling everybody to be more evil. She says to them, you know, what have you guys done this week to like show that you're like ready for his apocalypse or whatever? And people are like, I stole money from the ATM. And someone's like, I cheated on my wife. And she was like, I stole from a nursing home and donated to the NRA. Like, she's just kind of like trying to get everybody to get together.
Yeah.
And like essentially he's just like moping in the back corner, and he sees a woman watching him and being like, are you good? Like, what's going on with you? You look like you haven't eaten in a while. And she offers him shelter. He like goes over to her place. And do we ever get a name from her? I never caught a name.
No, and I was trying to figure it out. I could not figure out her name because he introduces himself. She's like, what's your name? But then she doesn't ever say her name.
Honestly, I don't know anything about Satanism. Not that I don't want to get into it at all. But like, it's a very interesting way of like looking at the world. Like they're basically like everybody's trash.
Everything is the opposite.
That's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like all you need to do is suffer. You suffer all the time, and you don't even enjoy it. Like, you're not worth even enjoying it. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, and she says something very interesting, and you're right. Like, I definitely don't understand what Satanism is and whatever, but she does say something like, you have to be honest with who you are. We're all sinners, and like, we have to let our sins sort of like guide us, you know? Whereas like all these other religions, it's like hide your sin, or like cleanse yourself, you know, act like a normal person, where like they're like, just be you. Like, you got urges, do the urges. So it's almost like a religion or a cult that's very much like, just be you. No matter how fucked up that is, you know? Like, it's a really fucked up way. Yeah, like just be, and she's basically saying like, we're all evil. Like, we're all selfish with our desires and shit. And I'm like, that's pretty much kind of true though.
So it's like you take your desires and you do something with it, and when then you die, you go like to the fires of hell.
Yeah, like
it's
they want to go to
opposite.
hell.
It's like
yeah,
everybody wants to go to hell. The
Yeah.
other opposite is like everybody wants to go to heaven. Everyone wants to go to a good place and be good. So it's. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that I'm not endorsing it whatsoever. But I'm just saying
So
it's
in
a very
this
interesting
moment,
way to see
he
it.
also shows her who he is, right? His like tattoo in the back of his ear.
Right. So, because she's like, we're now waiting for the Antichrist, and he's like, I don't know what you're waiting for, and she gets really upset, and he's like, I'm the Antichrist, and she's about to kill him, and then he's like, look behind my ear. So that tattoo that we saw in the Murder House episode finally comes like it comes to be
into
like.
play.
Yeah, it comes into play because I was like, wow, when are they gonna bring that freaking 666?
But like, also, like, couldn't he technically just do it on himself and then like claim that he's the Antichrist?
And that's kind of what happens at the end of the episode, right? Like they say the same thing. They're like, well, that's just like basically a tattoo. It's nothing special. Yeah, I thought the same thing, but I guess like she like lost her mind. She got so excited. She's like, her savior's here.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. So then it cuts back to Satan, like the satanic church.
Yeah,
and they have now two
sacrifices.
Like, let's kill these people though. And
so then she walks in. Yeah.
So before that happens, though, like I just thought it was like really, it's just really weird to watch how like funny they make these moments.
It's true.
She's like this is dedicated to Phil because he's our like new member, and
well,
he's
even
like about to kill them.
Even when she was introducing like the two people that were gonna die, she's like, he's the Doctors Across Borders doctor, and then she's like a social worker. Let's kill them for like all the good work that they do in the world. Like it's everything is like flipped and it's opposite.
Literally the full opposite.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's almost like poking fun at actual like like Christianity or like
for
all
sure.
those other ones too.
And I love
like
how
those gospel churches and
not to say there's anything wrong with that.
Mass.
Not to say there's anything wrong with it. It's just like they take those moments from church, like even her looking at Michael and being like money, like with the money basket, like even little things like that. It's just kind of
just to make things feel like familiar.
Yeah,
but it's just like the full opposite.
So grandma like brings him into the church, and then she's like, no, like he's more lit, like he has to do the sacrifice. Let him kill the two people, and then he kills the two people, whatever, and then. He shows his like tattoo and like the lights like flicker and they're like, oh, they're like, you must be him. He is the one.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
So the one thing that I wanted to ask actually, and I wanted to ask you, and maybe our crew can answer this too, but if he came to this church kind of like and you said like he probably was here at some point in time with Miss Mead, how come they never even brought him forward in the beginning?
Well, here's my question too before that is like, wouldn't that woman know who Miss Mead was? Like, Miss Mead was pretty, like, lit in that community. Like, she was a part of that whole gang. Like, I just don't believe that, like, nobody knew who Miss Mead was.
That's what I mean. I just feel very confused as to this church in the middle of nowhere that he found himself back to. He seems like it was familiar to him, and like no one knew of him, and not even Miss Mead came forward and was like, this is our Antichrist, this is the person that we should be like looking out for.
I don't know,
like it didn't make any sense. Like that part didn't make any sense, and I don't think we're gonna get that story. And if we do,
just
like
kind of
I'm
roll
over
with it. Just kind of roll with it.
You just kind of roll with it, but like at the same time, like it's just going back to what you were saying in the beginning of the episode. It's like, why did we have to kind of elongate this story? Why couldn't he walk through those doors and be like, yo, like Miss Me just died, and they're like, and they could figure it out, you know?
Exactly.
Like it could feel like there was history there, but like it's almost like he walked into some new ass place and everyone was like shook when he said that he was the Antichrist.
Yeah.
So anyway, and there was a really funny moment too before we move to the next one where like they're literally like the choir in the back is like singing while he's like doing the freaking sacrifice, like la 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 la, like it was so extra. And so then it cuts to like the next day and they're doing like a freaking like satanic potluck.
And like everyone's just like so excited about him. They're like, we made you like shepherd's pie, we made you like freaking like turkey meatballs. Like he's like, okay. He's like trying to like eat all of it. Like they're all so effing excited about him.
For sure.
But it's interesting because like he's supposed to feel happy and like supported, but like he doesn't feel that at all. And he tells the woman, he's like, this doesn't feel right, or like I'm missing something. Like I had my girl, I had Miss Mead, and like she's gone now, and like I feel like this is all for nothing.
I'm a little lost because she's even asking him like, what do we do next? And and
like when is the world gonna end? He's like, I don't know.
He's like, you guys keep saying that I'm the Antichrist. You guys don't shut up about it, and you're making me feel like I'm like useless because I don't know what to do next.
Yeah.
My like dad abandoned me. my mom tried to kill me. Like, Miss Me's dead. Everybody's dead. And I'm not powerful enough to bring her back. And she was like, don't worry, girl. I got you. And so she, like, gets her, like, next level phone out. And she's like, I'll find her. And he's like, I can't, like, she's actually dead. So I can't, like, just, like, Google her and find her. And she's like, even death, we can, like, figure this out. Anything for the Antichrist, basically. And so they, like, drive, and MB, you get, like, the nicest shot ever. Like,
I know, like, it's my favorite. You got
your LA shot.
Yeah, it's my Pacific Coast Highway favorite shot. Yeah, it was actually kind of random that, like, they even showed that. Yeah. But I guess it's, like, such a, like, kind of California staple. But so I think what they're doing is they're driving up the coast. They're gonna go to Silicon Valley. And then they get to, like, this huge building that looks like basically like Google or Apple or like any other, like, tech giant. Right. And the girl has, like, connects. She's like, don't worry. She's like, these guys are gonna help you. So at this point, did you know that they were the robot people?
Yes. As soon as I saw, like, as soon as she said, like, don't worry, I got you, fam, I was like, okay, for sure. There's definitely, like, some sort of, like, robot something happening.
It definitely exceeded my expectations of where this story was gonna go. They made it so effing funny. I was cracking up the last, like, 15 minutes of the episode. I was like so entertained by these two guys.
Those freaking bowl cuts were killing me. The freaking bowl cuts were killing me.
Yeah, so she drops him off, basically, and then he walks in. But before, I guess, he walks in, it cuts to, like, the inside, and we see Evan Peters' character acting as, I guess, like, one of the CEOs, and then Billy Eichner acting as the other CEO. The, like, Best Buds or whatever, freaking Dumb and Dumber bowl cuts. Yeah. And they're just, like, snorting cocaine. They, like, created a robot that, like, gives hand jobs.
Yeah, like, of course, like, these guys, like, their first priority is, like, making robots that can, like, give people head properly.
Well, I guess they make, like, sex dolls, which totally makes sense as to, like, where this kind of storyline was heading. So this girl, I guess, knows them. Like, they're, like, satanists too, I guess. And then whatever. They're just, like, kind of fucking around in the room, like...
They're, like, doing cocaine lines, all the, like, crazy.
And then they're like, did our package come, right? And then it cuts to...
Freaking
the receptionist. Yeah.
What the frick?
Literally, I was what?
Did you expect
that
at all?
No, of course not. But it totally all makes sense.
Now it all makes sense to me. Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Who the F his name is Wilhelmina Venable?
And who gets hired in the middle of Silicon Valley, like, with that freaking attitude that she had? She was so crusty.
She looked amazing though. Like, she was, like, all in purple, my favorite effing color, and then, like, even her laptop cover was, like, purple,
which is her color, right?
Is that what she said?
Now. Yeah, like, purple is her thing. So it all connects to, like, why.
OMFG.
Yeah, she's, like, the one that kind of creates that hierarchy or whatever.
I'm so curious if our listeners expected that, because I really didn't. I feel like I should have thought that, and I didn't think that. Like, it was right in front of us, you know?
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, we still don't really know, like, where it's all gonna go. Like, does that mean that they're a part of the collective? Like, are they the collective?
I want to talk about that after. But so let's just finish that scene. So she's like the receptionist, right? And then the package comes.
Which is cocaine.
So
like, a gigantic
big glass of cocaine. Great, because like they needed more. And it's funny because when she walks into that room with them, at first she's kind of like, oh, they're my boys, like, whatever, I work for them. But then towards the end of the conversation, they were kind of like being disrespectful. They're like, hey, thanks, babe, like, see you later, whatever. And you could hear,
they kept calling her babe. They're like, babe, babe.
And you can and you can hear the resentment in her voice. Like, she was like, ugh, like, what are these guys, you know? Like,
she's like,
so
these guys.
Her attitude that we've seen in the beginning of the season, definitely, like, you can see it right there too. And then she was like, guys, there's someone, like, waiting for you guys at the front.
And the one thing that I really liked is, like, the fact that they even show the fact that there's, like, the music playing. I don't know if you noticed that as well, but Evan Peters' character, he's like, the music is my, like, cocaine. He's like having that music playing in the background, and that's the same music that we hear in the bunker, which makes me also, like I said, believe that they have something to do with being a part of the collective. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, like, where that falls into it at the end of it all. But anyway, we'll get back to that later.
Because you're right. The music does play a huge part. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even book that.
I think it's the same song that is played in the first episode. Like, he's playing on the radio in that little area. So
can I just ask you right quick? because you are mentioning this, do we suspect that Brock is the guy and that Evan Peters' character is Mr. Gallant?
No, and definitely not.
And that they're planted in there?
No. I don't think so.
Are you sure?
I'm like
because
75% sure.
If Michael,
I don't even know.
If Michael knows who Coco could be, aka a witch, what if he set all of this up so that like her boyfriend would have been Brock, and like he can control Brock too, you know?
True, but I don't know.
Because that would make sense as to like why Brock. I don't know. I'm just getting ahead, but like I mean, Michael, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised. There. Yeah, like he's placed them into their lives, leading up to the end of the world, kind of thing. You know,
like you almost feel like he did the same thing to them that like Cordelia did to the girls. Yes, to protect them for sure. Them or whatever.
Because right now he doesn't have anyone, right? Like all the warlocks are dead, so he needs his team, like you know.
True. So, but then again, like I don't know why he would want like Billy Eichner, like Brock to be like freaking blown up and mutilated the way he was. Like he kind of like didn't really add anything to the story.
Yeah, like, unless we see him come back later. But yeah, anyways, I don't know. Just a thought. I was kind of like thinking. I was like,
good point.
Who knows?
But like you said, to that point, let's talk about the fact that like this is the collective, or is it the collective? What do you guys think? And what do you think, MB?
I don't know.
Like, do you feel like this could be it? Like, it all fits and it all makes sense, and it makes sense as to why Venable feels like she has some authority over everybody, because she's like, I was a part of the collective. Yeah. I've talked to people. I've made the rules. Like, she knows that it's like a situation that's like outside of her, and it seems like that. Like, and it also feels like if there were to be an apocalypse, like the Silicon Valley would be the place to go. Like, I don't know. Like, everybody probably has like private bunkers because they're so freaking rich. Anyway, so one person that we need to like mention, just like shout out to her, because she like has like 5 minutes of screen time. There's like a girl that they hired to literally give them blowjobs while they're working. Yeah,
it was terrible. Terrible.
It was so mean.
He was like he rolled away and she's like, hey, I was working, and like sucking his dick. He's like, oh, I didn't even realize. Like, I totally forgot.
He's like, sorry, girl. I'm like, so mean.
Wow.
So anyway, they call in somebody to see, like Venable's like, someone's here to see you, and he's like, true, bring him to the back. So that's the one thing that I was wondering too, is like, how did they not even meet each other? Because Venable doesn't know Michael, right, until the time that they see each other in the episode 2 or episode 1. Yeah. So it seems that like she never even sees him in person and doesn't know who he is, because he's like sent him to the back elevators.
Yeah.
So it's like
true. She doesn't see him.
Like she never sees him.
Yeah. Good point.
Because that's why they don't know each other in the future.
Yeah.
So he gets upstairs and then they meet him.
And these guys are like high AF. Like they're like skyrocket high, and they're just dying of laughter. Like, yo, you're the devil? Like what? Like your dad's the devil? Yeah. Like what? Like they're just roasting him. They're like, what kind of name is Michael Langdon? Like I thought you were going to be like so much scarier.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's getting like pissed.
Yeah, he's getting cheesed. He's about to leave. And they're like, honestly, though, like, you just, like, aren't, like, the type. And he shows them the tattoo. And they say exactly what you said, which is, like, yo, like, you could probably, like, burn that shit into your head anyway. Like, it's not that special. And then in that moment, though, like, I guess he's facing, like, the blowjob girl.
Yeah.
And she's, like, getting shook. Like, she's like, no, I feel the darkness. Like, it's not good. I don't feel good. And I guess it has to do with the fact that because they're both Satanists, they like don't feel that same energy as much as she does, because she is like overwhelming. Probably like she's probably like a normal person, so she like feels it more. So she starts to feel it, and then she like runs out. She's like, I gotta go, and then she like freaking bursts into flames. Yeah. And like R.I.P. girl.
Yeah.
And so then at that point in time, they're like, oh shit, like you're real for real. And then they have just like a full conversation outside. They're like, sorry, we doubted you. And then they kind of give a bit of a backstory about the fact that they like used to work for a company, but like obviously they talk about Elon Musk, so it's like Tesla. They were working for Tesla.
Yeah. And
then they sell their souls to start a robotics company, which is what they have now, and like now they're billionaires. Yeah. So and then
he basically like enlists them. He's like, I need you to make this person for me, Miss Mead. She was like my hero.
Right.
here's everything, and they're like, okay, tell us like everything you know about her so that we can like kind of build her character. And this became like full out like Westworld. Like this was so freaky.
Like basically Westworld.
Yeah. So they make like a whole vision board, and they're like, we gotta like make her lit though. Like we gotta like, she just can't be, you know, like we're doing this for like the effing like Antichrist. Like we gotta like turn up.
This is for Satan. Like we need to do it right.
So they're like, oh, let's make her a Mossad agent. So anyways, they just kind of like, you know, put her on the drawing board and they make her into like this sick person. And then we do get to see them like printing her face. What did you think of that whole sequence? Like, did it take you back to Westworld?
For sure. Absolutely. I was kind of like, what show am I watching? Like between this and like the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, I'm like watching so many like things that sound and feel the same.
Yeah,
it's like
totally.
Apocalypse, witchcraft, freaking robots. Like it's so many things. Yeah, for sure. How about you?
Yeah, no, I loved it. I was like, oh, I kind of wish they threw a low-key joke in there somewhere. Like, yeah, this is like Westworld or something, but they didn't, you know?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, then she's like created, and then that's the end of the episode, right?
Yeah, she kind of wakes up. They're like, once you turn her on, you can't turn her back off. Then like she wakes up, and then she sees him, and she's like, oh my God, I missed you, homie. And then
I miss you, homie.
That was it.
They do say that like at one point in time, like you can't tell her that she's a robot, or else she's going to like glitch the fuck out.
Yeah, and even right then I was like, is this like a Westworld like throw to?
Reference.
But then they didn't really like continue it on, and I was like, oh, that would have been like a perfect moment for that.
Yeah, or maybe it is like, maybe that is the whole situation. Like they realize that the robots are like, what the fuck, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the end of the episode. Like I said, like I really love the back end 15 of it because they were just so effing funny together, Evan Peters and Billy Eichner. But the beginning, I don't know, the whole satanic thing was kind of like meh. But I'm glad to be over it now. So
yeah, for sure. Now we can move on to like the next big stuff. I think that the next episode I feel is going to be really chunky because I feel like he's just going to go off on everybody and kill as many people as he can. So I think the Coven is like in trouble next episode for sure.
And I think there's only 10 episodes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel
like it's almost done.
9 is usually the most lit one, and then 10 is kind of the conclusion. So
we'll see.
It'll be interesting to see how everything goes. What are you expecting for the next episode?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know what to think anymore. I'm sure we're gonna see the witches come back, right?
Yeah, and maybe like the war or the battle kind of before the apocalypse.
Yeah, maybe. It does. It says the episode name is Fire and Rain, but like rain in the sense of like REIGN.
Oh, okay.
So
I said fire.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be the big like war between the two of them. The apocalypse happens, and then we have to cut back to the final. Like
they will.
The present time
because the last episode's called Apocalypse Then. So I bet you it's gonna like kind of resume from where we started the season.
Got it.
One of the things I was kind of upset with before we get into our roundups is like, this was like Halloween. Like the episode literally like falls on Halloween, and there was no Halloween episode, and I'm kind of cheesed about that. Like they make these seasons like the perfect time that it does cross over Halloween. I don't think it's ever been on like actually like the 31st, and the fact that it was this year, like I'm kind of cheesed that like they didn't have anything about that.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. I didn't notice that until just now, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Like they never and they usually are notorious for their Halloween episodes. That's what I'm saying.
Like they're always iconic, and there's always like a secondary storyline that like kind of weaves into Halloween, but literally nothing about that.
I guess there's no real place for it because we already had like
I don't believe
Halloween
that.
situation.
I feel like they could fit it somehow. Like it's Ryan Murphy. He can fit Halloween somehow into the storyline. You know what I mean?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know where it would have gone, to be completely honest, because we got like a cool Halloween episode with Coven, like the Coven season. So seeing that again would have been kind of weird. And then, like, I don't know, maybe like they could have done Murder House this episode instead, but then they would have just pushed back their schedule. I don't know. Let's get into our recap roundups.
Recap roundups.
Best moment. My best moment had to be Michael meeting Billy Eichner and Evan Peters for the first time in that lab, because it was just so funny. They were amazing together. Like the three of them together were just hilarious, because they were just poking fun at the poor guy, and he's just like, I want to make my like mom again. Like,
yeah,
it was a good time.
And like they're so coked up, and like like the jokes were really jokes.
And their stupid wigs kept like moving. Like every time Billy Eichner like moved his head, it would like shift.
It would just like shake.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do they have those fucking haircuts?
It's so funny.
My best moment's gonna go to the Satanic Church. I know we were kind of throwing some shade earlier in the episode, but I like the little banter from that actress. I honestly wouldn't need to figure out what her name is, but I like the fact that she was kind of like throwing all this. I think that like, just like I said, even seeing that setting, it's like the same like classic church setting that we always see, but like the complete opposite. So seeing how like Satanists would see those kinds of things, and or if it's even real, I don't even know for sure, but like just kind of seeing that over exaggerated kind of look on Satanism, which was kind of funny. So yeah, that was my best moment.
WTF moment. My WTF moment was just finding out that Venable's story is a part of this whole story, right? Like that she's working for them. I thought maybe she could be a robot. Like they could have built her maybe. Because she's just, even the way she's like standing, and she's just so perfect and like proper. But I don't know. It was just cool seeing her though, for sure.
It was cool seeing her for sure. That's definitely my WTF moment too. So I like kind of put that down as well. We can also talk about that angel thing really quickly in his kind of like Satan dream or whatever, during the 4 days of him kind of just chilling in the woods. Do you think that's going to come back at all?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because that angel was kind of cute. No lies. So it was really cool seeing how Miss Venable was connected to the storyline for sure.
MVP. And just like leading into that, like I think she's my MVP just because I was not expecting her, and I love how she's working with these idiots, and she seems like she's putting up with these idiots, but there's a part of her that is sort of like rebelling against them, and that she's not down for them. So I had to put her down as that.
I don't know who my MVP is, to be completely honest. I don't think there was any one person that like kind of stood out. Maybe it's that chick that got Michael all the way to Silicon Valley.
Yeah. Whatever her name was.
Whatever her name was. I think her name was like Susan or something. I think one of the guys, Billy Eichner, mentions her for a hot second, being like, she's a crazy biatch.
Oh yeah,
she?
Yeah, true.
But that's the only time we ever hear her name. But yeah, I think that just her coming in and like having so much faith in him and like taking care of him, even from the beginning before she even knew that he was Antichrist, it shows that he, you know, like she means something to him, obviously, and she turned up for him. It's like the only reason why he got a Mead robot. So
LVP.
Yeah, my LVP is gonna go to the devil himself, because he doesn't help Michael at all this episode. I feel like I feel like Michael was like calling up for him. He's like, Dad, where are you? And you're like not here. So I feel like in the time when Michael needed him the most, he wasn't around. And I wonder if there's like a deeper meaning behind that. I don't know, probably not, but it's just kind of like, where were you though?
I mean, I think like I was saying earlier, it's kind of just like that Jesus storyline too. It's like they leave them in the darkest moments so they can like figure out their own life. My LVP is gonna go to Cordelia, because I just feel like she didn't properly assess that situation to kind of get Michael back on their side. So if she wasn't planning to vanquish him, then her just kind of leaving him in the lurch, just being like, we killed everybody that you love, like what's good?
Yeah.
And then just kind of figuring out if he was gonna take their side or not, and like realizing that they're not gonna like, it was just a poorly thought out plan on her end of things.
Yeah.
And for her to even like let him walk away from that situation is like, okay, like he's literally the Antichrist. How are you letting him just kind of like dip so he can become stronger so he can kill you guys later? Like, kind of an idiot. She's kind of an idiot in that moment for sure.
The best line.
My best line is from that lady, Susan or Susie, whatever her name is. And she goes, every Wednesday night, Brad Pitt comes over and fucks me till the sun comes up. On Friday nights, I get Ryan Reynolds.
That's funny that you say that, because my best line is from Evan Peters' character. Yeah. And he's like, Thursdays we get Ryan Reynolds.
I was hoping you would like choose that one as yours. Yeah.
That's
it was
fine.
so
Yeah,
funny.
for sure. I want to tweet Ryan Reynolds and be like, yo, you were just called
everybody
out.
be fucking you on AHS.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the episode, guys. Let us know what you guys thought about it. I think that it was like a cool transitional episode, but it definitely wasn't like a big
Amazing,
wow, you
yeah.
know, witchy like AHS moment.
Definitely excited to hear what our fans have to say, because I feel like we weren't that lit on it, so I'm excited to hear if they were excited about it and if they took anything else from it. So yeah, let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
Tweet us or YouTube comments us under the video.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
And that's it, guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye.